Okay, we are working on our Chevelle. I actually got all the wiring done. The wiring is complete. Let me show you what was holding us up on that situation, because this is a very crucial and important situation when it comes to installing this LS2.
Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
So if you look at this little contraption right here, this is actually a relay switch that's going to run our electric fans. This is a very important situation. This little bastard right here, if you look at it real close, there's the relay, and then of course it's got the adjustable thermostat right there. And then we went ahead and plugged our thermostat into the radiator. It came with a bung already welded into the top of the radiator. And this is our thermostatic switch that's going to turn the fan off and on. So once we get the car running, there's a little screw underneath that black cover right there, and then we'll be able to adjust that. Now I think it's preset it comes on at 185 and then goes off at 155 or 165, something like that. But that is a must when you are installing these, and it's very crucial that you get one of these switches right here or something like it to make it all work. So our wiring is complete. The only other thing that we got to do is to go ahead and install our fuel pedal that you see right here, our gas pedal. Now this is a fly-by-wire situation. Remember I was telling you about that. This is all electronically controlled. There's no cables. There's none of this, that, and the other. Hello, over here. Come here. What are you doing?
Putting these keys away.
All right, come on over here. Put the keys away real quick. Go ahead. Okay, we got Minnie the body shop girl back over at SWRNC. Is that a good thing? I don't know. Possibly it is, possibly it ain't. She's been working on this 33 Ford over here, block sanding it, trying to get it ready for paint, while we're working on the 66 Chevelle, trying to get it running. How's that thing turning out over there?
Doors almost, one door's done, the other's half done.
And then we're ready to prime and start blocking for paint.
Yeah, dry.
Well, we got to go over the body because we kind of just roughed the body in. There's still a little body work to do on that, so. And then we're ready. But right now we're not working on that. We're working on our Chevelle. We got to get this thing done.
Yep.
What do you think about working back over here?
I'm glad.
Oh, you are? Been in a good mood the last couple of days. Let's hope your temper doesn't flare.
There you go.
Okay.
It all depends on you.
Yeah, okay. So, the situation that we have, and I want to take this off because I was just getting ready to drill the hole so I could bolt it on there. What I had to do, and you can see this right here, I had to make a bracket. Now this is 2-inch flat steel, and it's the thin flat steel. I think that's 1/8 inch, but it is strong enough for what we're going to do with our pedal. And if we look right in this area here, here's our gas pedal. Let me get these wires out of the way. I mean, there's our brake pedal right here, and then this would go, this is the wiring that goes to our steering column once we install that. But we got to put our gas pedal in here. We had to take the factory original one out, and then I went ahead and welded up all the holes where that was. So what I did is I made an L bracket here, and I kind of measured it out where there was 2 inches here. I kind of held it up there, measured it out. You know, it's kind of a hand job situation because that's what it takes when you're doing this. And then if you look right here, what I'll do is I'll install that pedal in this area right in here somewhere. So it will be lined up. Now it looks like it's going to go up in this area right here, just like that. Another thing is, I'm sorry, my flashlight just fell. You got enough light in here? Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, when your pedal's in here, what you want to do is you want to test it out. All right, do you see there? Now, we got to compensate. It's very important that we compensate for the carpet and the padding. So when you push that down, make sure that you notice that there's going to be room. Now, another thing is, you notice it ain't going to go straight up and down, but what we're going to do is we're going to put it at an angle like that to make the pedal straight. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, of course, if we go down lower, that's going to bring it closer to us. So I'm thinking right there in that area is where we're going to weld this bracket to. But before I weld the bracket, what I got to do, I got to go ahead and install the center console to make sure that our feet aren't going to get in the way of that. So if everybody remembers, this is our center console that we made, our fiberglass center console. We made it out of I think it was a 2014 Camaro center console, and then we completely modified it by fiberglassing it up and molding it to work. And then the customer is not going to paint this. He's going to have it covered in ultra leather or some sort of material. So we didn't really finish this out to be a painted item. Now, if he wants to paint it, we can go ahead and block it all down, do some body work on it, and prime it. But as of right now, this is basically a center console, homemade fiberglass center console that is designed for covering with material, okay, to match. And then as you can see, we got our nice little, so this thing really came out nice, very extensive work here. I believe I worked on this for almost a month and a half off and on. And you got to go into the videos and watch how we made that if you're thinking of doing this. Very big job and time consuming. Let's get this center console in there. We got to get the center console in because I got to remember how this thing comes out. I don't remember how this comes out of here. Do you?
I have no clue.
I'm thinking that this here cover, I think it pops right off here like that. That's how it does it right there. We got to take this off of here. We got to take this cover off. There it is. Now we got to take that off to get the shifter in here. And then this will come out of here.
Don't break the
I'm not going to break it, okay? Please, let me handle the situation. I don't want to dent his thing, so don't get me mad. All right, let's go over here and get this in the car. And this is kind of tricky to put this in here, but we're going to go ahead and set it in here because we have got to make sure that our pedal does not hit the center console and we have enough room. And it's very important that that all comes together when we're doing this. So it's been about a year since I actually put this thing in the car. So give me a few seconds here to figure out. I think I got to put it in neutral, and then I got to lift this up like this, because this has got to go on the top somehow. Okay, hold on a minute. That's not right. Okay, we got to lift that up. Let's see, hold on a minute. Okay, this has got to come up somehow. Okay, we got to get this fit inside here, see? These have to be on top of this, so. And like I said, it's been a little bit of a minute before I actually put this in here. Okay, now if I can get that up on top of there, we'll have it made. I don't remember how the fuck I did it, Minnie.
Well, I don't remember.
And another thing is my knee's fucked up, so putting this on here isn't the funnest thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? All right, let me get back in here on my knees. Let's see if I can get this in here, because it's tricky to get in. That's why I don't want to keep fucking with it. And I forgot how the fuck I put it in here. I don't look like that. And then, see, it's not gonna fit like that. Okay, hold on. There we go. Maybe it goes like that. Okay. I know it fits in here because I've had it in here before. And it's not fucking fitting in here. What the hell? Why ain't it going in? there's something that's holding it down on the bottom here. Let me see. Okay, I see what the problem is. It's hooking right here on the sides. We gotta get it unhooked. There it is. Okay. Alright, now we can go like this. And then we can slide this side in first. Oh, you son of a bitch. You see what kind of pain in the ass we got going? Alright. And then we can get our center console where it goes, like that. And then of course this will slide down on here, if we can get it back on there somehow. But yeah, okay, we'll go back and get that. But that's where our center console is going to go, just like that right there. Okay, let me go get a chair. I'm going to get a chair that I got, an old seat. We're going to put the seat in here. We're going to see how it looks. And hopefully everything will fit together and we'll get this baby mounted. Okay, what we got here, this is called our test seat. This is our flight seat. You know how they have a test pilot seat, test pilot on an airplane?
Yeah.
Okay, well this is our test pilot seat. More than likely this is going to be too tall for this car. Actually what it is, it's a Volkswagen bottom with some kind of bullshit seat on the top, and I can already see that it's going to be way too tall. But what it's going to do, it's going to kind of help us line everything up and see where we're at. So if Minnie can come over here, kind of sit down in the chair here, and we'll use her as a pattern to set our pedal in there and see where it's... Okay, I wasn't even done talking yet. I wasn't done talking and you start walking.
Sorry.
Okay?
Sorry.
We'll go ahead and use Minnie as a dummy. You know what a crash dummy is?
Yeah.
We'll use Minnie as the crash dummy here to set the pedal in there and see where we're going to end up with it, and hopefully it will all end up in the right place. Now you can start walking. Alright, with Minnie sitting in the car, we're going to go ahead and focus in on our pedal, and hopefully we're going to go ahead and set this up and get everything where it should be. And there we go. Got to get the camera set up right, because now we need our tripod to make things all happen. So if we look at our pedal right here, I'm going to go ahead and hold that, and then Minnie can kind of put her foot on it. Does that feel kind of, how does that feel? If you don't push on it, just kind of feel it.
Yeah, I think that'll be alright.
Okay, can you get to the brake?
Yeah.
Okay, so that in that area right there looking good?
Yeah, I used 2 feet.
You think I ought to raise it up some?
No, because then it'll be too high.
That's too high, so that's about the right height and everything right there.
Yeah.
About right there?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and get this in there. I want to show you what I did here. You can see on the back, I went ahead and spot welded me 3 1/4-inch nuts. I went ahead and drilled it out so I could put the bolts in. And then what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and spot weld this bracket system that I made here onto the vehicle. Once that's on, we'll take the pedal off and finish out our welding. So I kind of saw where it was when Minnie was, let me get my light on here, there we go. So I kind of saw where Minnie's foot was, and it was basically in this area right in here, just like this. And you can see where we're going to be at right there. That actually is a pretty good angle. I'm going to go ahead and spot weld that right there and see what happens. So that's actually a good action right there. just like that. So let me get my welder and see if I can get a spark going here. And we don't have no spark, so that's telling me that I'm gonna have to grind that down. I thought the welder would have been hot enough, but obviously it's not. So we gotta get our grinder, grind that bitch down so we can weld it. And I believe the paint that they used in here for this, for rust protection, was Pour 15, so I need to get all that out of the way. All that's gotta be done. Now that that's grinded down, we'll go ahead and take our pedal, just like this, get it in position where we want it to be. And I believe it was about right there. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to push on it. It's got to be at an angle like that. And I want to make sure that I got my clearance for my carpet. That's very important to make sure that you got carpet clearance. And it looks like we're going to have about an inch of clearance there on our carpet. So that's where we're going to put it right there. Let's see if we can tack weld this baby on. And then you can see where we're at now with our pedal in place where we want it. Let's go ahead and get this corner right here, and then we'll be able to take our pedal off and then weld our bracket nice and secure. And that seems to be where the position was when Minnie was in the car. We all know that if you go up too high, then your foot is kind of like at a straight up angle, and it gets very uncomfortable on your ankle. So putting it down just a little bit lower is going to be able to put our foot right here, and then we'll be able to just touch it with our toe, and we'll have a nice comfortable ride. We also noticed that it was a very good distance away from our center console. We didn't have to worry about that. So I'm going to go ahead and get this welded back on. I'm going to take my pedal off. I don't want to ruin that pedal by melting the plastic housing. And then once that's done, I believe that our pedal is installed. So this pedal right here was out of a I believe it was a 2014 Camaro. When the owner went and got the motor and the transmission, he forgot to get the throttle pedal, so we had to get one out of a 2014 Camaro, which will work just fine with this engine. And everything, if you look right here, will plug in properly. They really give you a lot of wire here. That's pretty long, so we'll have to bundle that up and wrap it up, and then once that's in, bam, plugged in, and we got gas. So we are pretty much done with installing the motor and the transmission. The only other thing that we got to do to this car is get the dual exhaust system put on it for our O2 sensors, and then I believe that this thing is going to be ready to start. I got to put the dash back in the car. I got to put the steering column in. That's about a day's work finishing that out. And I want to show everybody, I don't know if I showed how I wired this up, but I actually wired the car up where everything is a plug and play situation on the dash in case the dash has to be removed out of the car. All you do is unplug 4 plugs and then a couple other little plugs for your wiper and your, what do we have here? That's our, yeah, that, right. Lighter. He wanted a lighter put in his car so he could charge up his iPhone and shit, so we got that. I gotta wait on the speaker to get here. We're waiting on a factory OEM speaker to get here so we can put that in, and then once that's done, the dash will go in the car, and over to the muffler shop we go. We get our 2.5-inch exhaust with our MagnaFlow mufflers and O2 sensors will be hooked up, and then I believe this thing is ready to start and run. So we'll see you at that time, whenever that is, hopefully in the very near future. And I'm thinking everything is gonna work great, and it's gonna be an awesome fucking ride. I gotta finish the AC. I gotta put all the vents on. Fuck, okay. In-dash AC and heat. That was another fucking story. We'll see you then when we get ready to start this up, and hopefully everything's gonna work out good. Take it easy.
Watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know